Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Monday night here in BMBBH. I am Kev, and we are here to talk about the art of the insult. Now, look, I'm not here to give you a book of wealth and a book of wealthy knowledge about this one particular topic that I came up with. This is going to be one of those discussions where I tell people that if you're going to insult people, I would say you need to encompass what the insult is, and you know what? You need to at least execute it somewhat better, somewhat a little bit more smoother, not going to all the default insults because the default insults are uh, they're too common. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to this show and this platform from week to week. And let me start off this broadcast with saying this: long live the habitual line steppers. If it is your first time here, please go below the screen, hit the subscribe button. I come to you Fridays, Saturdays. I mean, not sorry, I'm sorry. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Not every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, but I am here on Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, and I do recorded stuff as well. So, you won't regret it. Subbing this channel, you will not regret. So yeah, let me talk about this art of the insult, and this is a learning. This is for the people. This is one of those broadcasts, like I said about the last broadcast. It's not rigmarole. It's not celebrity stuff. It's not dating advice. So per se, I mean, a lot of what I say on this channel could help you in the world of dating, as far as not being a sucker and not making a fool of yourself, and to avoid a lot of the mistakes that I made along the way. So, but I also deal with kind of an older crowd here as well. So we have to step into other areas because some of us have already crossed that bridge, and a lot of us are married and have families. Some of us are embroiled in relationships, and some of us are single. So I try to go into other things, besides that one particular area. Even though that one particular area is very popular, I like to try to break down our psyche, chip it off bit by bit, little by little, and this is what my mission is here: to bring a common sense black man perspective to this platform. And because many feel that we don't see that very often, especially from black men, I, for one, thinks that's bullshit. I think it's bullshit, and I think that if you're trying to focus on, the bad aspects of the space all the time, two things: you're not really being honest, and you're just trying to build views on a channel. That's just what it is, and trying to get people to believe otherwise, like you're somehow here to save someone or something. That our people, especially for everything that we've been through, we should look at that as an insult. See, what you should be looking for is authenticity amongst your content creators, amongst your the people that you deal with in your life, amongst anyone. Authenticity, because this is one of the biggest insults when when you're not being authentic and you expect people to actually take you seriously. Say, for instance, trolling. Trolling is generally used as an excuse to just do what you want and run amok. And you try, and then it's like when you get people to finally take you seriously, you think you can jump on a get out of jail free card, just like Monopoly. I'm just trolling. When actually you've done everything to insult the person to the point of anger, by any means necessary. By any means. But, you know, people aren't insulted by the right things. And I know that sounds a bit oxymoronic, But you're not insulted by the right things. You're insulted by things that you should have gotten past, and you're not insulted by things that you should be paying attention to. You know. So anyway, yeah, and I want to say this, and I don't mean to be mean. I'm just trying to be realistic. Um, if you are a black man in 2021, a hetero black man especially, you should be used to being insulted by now. Not to say that you have to put up with it, not to say that you have to take it, because I don't suggest anyone takes being bullied or picked on at all. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is simple. What I'm saying is simple. Just be authentic. Be authentic. You can't go wrong when people insult you. Because then they're the one that look like the idiots. I know that it's easy to say, and I know that's not very easy to understand. People, when people insult people, the object is to get a negative reaction. I'm not saying that don't answer that, don't respond. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying it at all. Some people need to be cussed out. Some people need to be hit over the head. Not inciting violence. Some people do. It's just what it is. Some people need a good ass whooping. My band director in high school, I went to Sidney Lanier High School in Montgomery, Alabama, a predominantly black school. He said, uh, and this is old school thinking, and this is some of the old school thinking that I agree with and I grew up on. He said that black people only understand two things: an ass whooping and a good cussing out. And I was thinking, yeah, that is true, but for the most part, we are good people. I would say, for the most part, everyone wants to be good. I believe that. Granted, the right circumstances, everyone wants to be good. But as you navigate in life and you run into certain situations, I begin to understand what my band director meant by that. Especially like looking at this YouTube space. Especially looking at what we deal with in real life, because see, a lot of y'all think this shit just on YouTube, this shit just on Facebook, this shit just on Instagram. A lot of this is actually reflecting of real life. The way people insult people is their innermost primal thoughts, innermost primal instinct. They want to do that. They want to be able to say these things to people for real. Which is the difference in me and a lot of these folks, because anything I'll say here, and I'll say it out here to anyone. I mean, you can have whatever character assessment of me that you like, but the thing is, when you act a certain way on these platforms and then somebody sees you in real life and you're not that person, you'll get caught with your pants down. So I try to stay as consistent as possible as far as my character. Not to insult people into believing that I am something that I am not. This is where a lot of you guys fuck up. There's a lot of you females fuck up as well. Because for the insults that you throw at everyone, and I'm not talking about any particular space or such. Um, for the insults you throw out, could you stand on those 2 feet when you see somebody in the flesh? Can you? I can. Cause one thing I learned is, for all the insults that I've received, is that no one generally does that in real life. No one. I don't think people walk around talking like this, because a lot of you, would get popped in the mouth. And you choose to deal with that situation when it happens, however you deal with it. But I don't care how many words and how many insults you throw out there. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the jello pudding. I don't care how many insults you throw. Once you get pumped in the mouth, punched in the mouth, it's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new set of circumstances that you got to deal with. Insulting to me is an art form. I know that sounds a little funny, but when you have the ability to make someone mad months, maybe years on end, then insulting is an art form. And I'm not talking about like doxing someone and getting them fired from their job because let's be serious. If you are in fact doing something wrong and you get exposed, actually in the literal sense, it's dirty politics, that a person does that to you. And that's inexcusable. But if you do right, then you can't go wrong. We'll just put it to you that way. But it's not to say that, when we come to this space, a lot of this stuff that we say isn't right. But if it's in the vein of weirdness and craziness, and if you're on here talking about some I'll kill these bitches and whatever, then there are not only consequences from the platform itself if it's in their community standards, there are real life consequences as well because there are a lot of crazy people out here. So I'm not talking, but still, at the end of the day, doxing is foul. Doxing is foul. That someone made you mad enough to want to ruin their lives. And at the end of the day, that's a true troll. If they make you mad enough, if they insult you enough to where you have to dox them or try to get them fired from their jobs, if you have to do that, you lost. You are a perpetual loser. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to say that in front of so many people. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not here to war with people or to insult people like I did in the past. Because I can show you some screenshots of some inboxes. Maybe I'll do a video one day about that. About how someone would insult me and continuously try to insult me to get me out of character, to accuse me of things, to make these mischaracterizations as to the worst things that they sit there that you could be as a human, that I encompass those things. You know, insult my family, insult my daughter. My daughter is still in the one digit ages. And full grown adults, in order to try to get under my skin, would talk about her. Full grown ass adults. Cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's not cool, but it's cool because, I know my kid doesn't care about that. My kid, she, navigates through life wanting to, just make her parents happy, do well in school, which she is. I was like, yeah, I got a smart kid. Yay! And then, just want to play around. Just want to play around, frolic about, live from day to day. So she doesn't care about full grown adults insulting her. But full grown adults care about insulting her, which is very weird, just to get under my skin. And this is why I say stuff like, it's internet shit. It's internet shit. People like know that, especially in the context of the internet, they know that they're on a Wi-Fi connection, so they'll say anything. They know that if they know that is a really large percentage chance that they are out of reach. So they say the kind of shit that they want to say. I mean, and what I'm here to say is, anybody can say what they want, and this is for you guys watching too. You don't have to let an ignorant person make you upset by an insult because they don't treat it as an art form. By saying treat it as an art form is to be able to insult a person and not get personal with anything else except them. To stay focused on them. You can hate me all you want from the internet. That does not matter at all. But for me to take up space in your mind rent free because of something I said 2 or 3 years ago is an awesome feeling. I get no personal gratification from it. But the fact that you have to go through that much trouble on your own, I mean, whatever I did, I've done my job. There's really nothing you can say, and there's very little you can do. Because most of you won't, you're not coming off this platform to see anyone. I mean, maybe for a meetup of sorts, depending on the situation for some of you, but outside of that, we all say these old little strong words. You don't have any intention of meeting up with that person and saying it to their face. That's why I say stay consistent. That's why I say stay consistent. So let me look at this chat. Phil Brad, Terrence Forrest Jr., Anthony Anthony Drosos, Kevin Insale. Is there a link? I've never seen you before. Um, but I see that you have a red pill avatar. But I'll open up the panel and get people to say whatever they're going to say because although this is the topic is the topic. I pretty much leave the discussion open, and Anthony Drosos, small children desperately need parents' approval. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it was that mental. I think the child is basically just trying to please the adult that has been taking care of them. Just, it's kind of a reciprocation. It's kind of a return from if you are truly that a parent, yeah, they return that love, and it's a great feeling. It really is. You know, I don't I try what here's the thing with me. I try not to say what's wrong with me around my kid because she tries to solve the problem in her own way, and then it's that's a very sweet thing, but like I don't want to feel like that I'm a burden on a child. So I just kind of like calm down, calm down. It's a good thing. You're being really sweet, but don't obligate yourself. Don't just kind of sit down and continue to be a kid. Juan G's, what's going on? You know. So I mean, I feel like she's pretty going in a pretty good direction. She's already ready displaying really good things, and it makes me proud as a parent, and it also make me look at my wife in a more positive light, even more because of her influence on my child. So that's just what that is. And people will try to take your happiness away by insulting you and insulting that which you love just because you come on this platform with certain views. I've been asked quite often, what would your wife think of some of the stuff you say? I was like, why don't you ask her? I say it to her too. I'm going to be brutally honest. She doesn't like a lot of it. So you can try to call her and give her timestamps all you want. I will say the exact same thing here that I will say to her. But see, here's the thing. You perceive it as what you want to perceive it as. You don't perceive it for what it really is. A lot of you, like, and I'm talking generally throughout the years, a lot of people just, they perceive it as is some kind of personal insult to them. I mean, like pointing out something that has already happened, and this is what happens a lot in this space. Pointing out something that's already happened is not me bashing you at all. It's not me insulting you. If someone shoots someone around the street, and I said, "Oh, pookie ass nigga shot somebody around the street," and the circumstances fucked up, like they were just trying to rob him or something, calling him a pookie ass nigga is not an insult to black men. Just like saying, like, okay, it seemed like the problematic people statistically come from single mom homes, which is statistically factual. That's not an insult to black women. Now, if I said something like black women are ugly, if I said something like that and I meant it, that's definitely an insult to black women. It can't be seen any other way. Ugly is a bad thing. If I said black men are perpetual losers and they need to be aborted, maybe even before they come out the womb, that is an insult and a call to genocide to black men. And I know some of you don't like facts. Some of you don't like the truth. Some of you are not interested in dealing with some of this stuff. But hey, you know, when you come to this channel, we got to. We have dealt with perpetual nonsense. And it's about time a lot of it come to an end. And it all starts with a conversation. Don't let anyone insult you into believing any other way. Everything starts with a conversation. One thing that is an insult to black men, especially in this space, is the policing of the conversation. You guys should be talking about this. You guys should be talking about that. These guys can talk about anything they want. The main people that go with the "you guys should be talking about this, you guys should be talking about that" are the main guys that go into spaces that talk about absolutely fucking nothing. Now, that's pretty subjective. If you believe a lot of those spaces are actually informative spaces that are purposed to solve the problem, then that's your business. But if the chat reflects fanaticism, basically they're looking for reasons to justify their toxic mentalities, then what is that? You're not going to believe me. You're not going to insult me into believing that's productive. Excuse me. Just saying, man, don't insult people. Here, I try not to insult people on YouTube. I can't say that for Facebook or any other platform I've been on. I understand that if I insulted someone, I mean, and I'm not perfect. I don't have a perfect record of this. If I've insulted someone, hey, you know what? You have the chance to always come forward when there are links. Like, there's a link in the description. I'm gonna pretty much open it up to whoever has already been on this platform. But if anyone else wants to hit the link that is established that is on the platform, you can also hit the link as well. I'm not afraid. See, some of y'all insult everyone into believing that that you're too good for everyone. That and I hear a lot. Like I say, I hear a lot of these grievances for the space and grievances for certain channels, and the insult and all that is none of those people ever or rarely address the people that they are talking about. I mean, everyone here has an individual name. So, my suggestion is to treat everyone like an individual and not try to make some blanket statement about a group. Like if someone says something about, I would say abort black babies or abort black male babies, you should address the content creator and not address whatever group he or she may come from. Like, don't say black women want to abort black male babies, even though several black women share that sentiment. Say, hey, you know what? Cynthia G made a broadcast saying that, making the case for maybe we should abort black male babies. The reason for that being is because she's a very sensitive person. And that's not an insult to her and whatever she's accomplished on the platform. But I've heard this said so many times by people. Is what these guys are saying online. I've heard that so many times. If they're saying online, they feel constantly insulted by the truth. If the truth is insulting to you, then you need to change your ways. That's my suggestion for you. That shouldn't be an insult to you. If you hate the truth, if you hate the facts, change your ways. Because facts don't change. A dollar change faster than facts. And facts don't change. Facts are not insults. If a group is losing, it's a fact. It's not an insult. So, a lot of people say that black men are behind the eight ball. There are many factual ways that you could probably say that. Which does not sound like an insult. Now, I'm not trying to police your tone. I'm just saying it's not smart to insult when there are facts present. But the part that's always going to make common sense, logical, critical thinking a problem or create a problem for logical, critical thinkers is nigga shit. Here's what happens when you can't beat a fact, or when a lot of people can't beat a fact. They start insulting people. They start insulting people. And an insult ain't always. It's not always fuck you. It's not always your mama ugly. There's an insult to your intelligence. The deflections, the straw man arguments. Thus, since I can't defeat that fact, and facts are the heavyweight champion of the world. Facts are undefeatable. I have to do things like deflect from it. All right. There was a discussion going on in the Facebook group. Some guy posted a link to a YouTube live broadcast. And it said, something to the degree of black men are killing black women at alarming rates. This needs to be discussed. Which, when I hear headlines like that, I always 100% of the time, and people are going to say that I'm being insensitive and I don't care about women or anything. I always feel 100% of the time is that they're trying to paint black men as the big villain, the villain of everything, the oppressors, and the abusers of black women. And the feelings are so basic because most of the time these women don't go through this. They got this clip of KS going around saying that he doesn't see men just out here abusing women. He doesn't see it. Hey, I don't see it either. Hell, I can, within an earshot, when I was younger, next door there was a man beating his woman. So I called the police. I was a young kid. I couldn't interject. You know what happened? Nothing. No, nothing. Nothing happened. Police came over there, and they weren't leaving with him in handcuffs. Although I felt as if he should have been leaving in handcuffs because I could clearly see, no, not see, I could clearly hear what was going on. It was just like screaming and the sound of furniture being thrown around and a man yelling angrily. So that pointed to all of that. So when I hear things like when they bring up that black men are killing black women at an alarming rate, and I go back to instances such as that, the times that I've tried to interject, I tried to interject any way I could. Like, another case was a woman came to me, said her boyfriend beat her and she got out of his life. But he keeps calling her and says he's not eating and all this other shit. Like abusers, like those guys are such punks because they start acting all vulnerable and start acting all feminine and like they're just breaking down when the woman's not there. They're big old tough guy when she is there and he's smacking her around. So she comes to me, what should I do? What should I do? I'm like, what you asking me for? I think you did the right thing. But do what makes you happy. Don't let him decide though. Couple days later, they're back together. Now these little internet harlots want to come to these spaces and talk about black men are killing black women. Now those weren't the only two incidences where I heard something was happening. I heard about a couple in college too. Not a couple, like as in boyfriend and girlfriend. A couple of incidences in college, and these girls would never leave these guys. They would never leave these guys. In fact, they would insult the guy advising them to leave that motherfucker. Sometimes these guys will go jump these guys. She'll be running and covering them up. Don't hurt my baby. But they want to insult you and make you believe that there's such thing called black femicide. Now, the victims of any crime that results in the death of anyone, hey, my condolences to the family. My condolences to the family. But black femicide is just internet banner. And they try to insult you into believing that's the only problem. Like, I asked this young lady that keeps bringing this word up. I was like, if it's black femicide when black men kill black women, what do you call it when black men kill black men? And she immediately goes into, I'm not going to debate facts. You just want to be the victim. I was like, after you tried to make yourself the victim, I mean, like, I'm not getting this. See, that's how you go at that. Plus the fact that, I mean, it's like, it ain't like y'all, it ain't like they just walking down the street and then this black man see him and then automatically he just think I gotta kill that bitch. You know, that ain't going on. These girls get in bad relationships, and there's evidence all over the place. That's the likely scenario. Whenever something happens to them, they'll insult you. They'll call you lame. You just mad because you ain't getting no pussy. They'll say all of that. They'll insult you, but they don't want you to know the real deal on something like that. But there's nothing you could have done anyway sitting on the internet explaining, explaining why things are all jacked up. It was a lot of this shit is their decision. You know what happens when a black man makes a bad decision in Western culture? He pays for it some kind of way, even if he's innocent. I'm not trying to make the black man the bigger victim. I'm not. But this whole thing is like, okay, all this kidnapping, all this killing is just a problem for just one gender, just one group of people. That's insulting. And tell the truth about how these situations are. Don't try to paint this picture like it's not your fault 100% of the time. I do understand a lot of people are fucking crazy. A lot of men are just horrible fucking people. But how many motherfuckers did you pass up before you got to that dude? What was your behavior? What was your previous behavior? Before you say something like, black men just hate black women, black men just want to kill black women, black male babies need to be aborted. And then turn around and insult you and say something like, "Oh, why do y'all want to date white women? White women, they are the mothers and the daughters of white supremacy." In the same vein, turn around and say white men are better. The perpetrators and the violent arbiters of white supremacy. All right, just is insult after insult after insult after insult. And there's no art to it. There's no tact to it. There can actually be tact to insults. Now think about it. If the truth is truly insulting to someone, that's tactful. That's an awesome feeling. I wish Shiba Inu coin would go up. Somebody listen on their website. My $40 got to go somewhere. But I'll just look at that. I'll just look at that. Where I invested in some Shiba Inu coin. I put $40 in it, and it's doubled so far. It was at one point it tripled because I guess everyone was anticipating that that some like Robinhood was and Kraken was going to list it, but it hasn't been listed yet, and I think the coin is kind of stagnant at this point. So I'll just let it sit there and see what happens within 10, 12, 15, 2 years or so. Like that's that's the first time I've ever invested in anything, and I'm just gonna let it stay there. It's $40. If I lose $40, shit, Shit, that's I don't know, a light bill maybe. In some places it is, depending on how much electricity you use. But anyway, my message to black men: just be smart. Don't, like, no matter what. And I know this is tough. I know this is a tough thing to say, and I know it's a tough thing to deal with. And I mean, sometimes you just want to punch somebody in the face. Sometimes you want to adopt that you know adopt that principle I told you my band director said. Some black people only understand two things: an ass whooping and a good cussing out. Sometimes you just want to whoop somebody's ass, and that's okay. I mean, seriously, because sometimes you just want to whoop somebody's ass for the things that they say. But here's how that person sees it: if it makes you mad enough to want to do that to them, they win. Now, that's no excuse to let anyone get away with something, especially insulting you, insulting yours, insulting your family. There's no reason for that. For real, for real. And I know it's hard, it's tough. It's like, damn, why is this person doing this if I can only get my hands on them? But seriously, if there are states away, it's not worth catching the flight. You have to chalk that up to, I could spend this time doing something else. Yeah, it's I'm here to teach something. I'm not a teacher. I'm just saying, in 45 years, an insult has never gotten me arrested. And I'm talking about taking an insult and dishing out an insult. It's never gotten me arrested. It's never gained me a threat on my life. I mean, except on the internet, and I don't consider those real threats. If a guy threaten you, if a guy has to threaten you on the internet, if a person has to threaten you on the internet, they ain't got no heart for real. Now, depending on that person's background, shoot, you might have to stay out of a couple states. It is what it is, but like 99% of the time, man, they blowing hot air. Like, just do like the old folks say. Just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Sometimes you got to deal with it though. Sometimes you do. Because my thing is, I've always said that you can respond to anything being said. I always say that. I don't suggest that people get bullied, people get ran over, especially if you're a grown ass man. I don't expect you to get bullied and ran over. I'm not going to say, take, if you're that kind of person that says, sticks and stones, words never hurt me. That's truth. That's truth. If you choose to walk away from a person insulting you, you know, excuse me, that definitely makes you the bigger person. Is you don't have to be embarrassed by walking away. You don't have to be embarrassed by trying to be the more peaceful person. You don't have to be embarrassed by using common sense. Hmm. But you do have those jackasses. You do have those jackasses. So what's the worst any of you have ever been insulted? Like, I'm serious, like, just an insult. I mean, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean that it affected you in such a way to to where you just laying on the ground kicking and screaming or something like that. But what's the worst you ever got insulted? I mean, is it something that Is it something that you rather keep secret? That's fine. Because like this is what I want you to think about. If you have to think about the worst you ever got insulted, if you have to really sit there and think about it and pick one out, is either that you've been insulted many times or it's just not that important to you or both. And that's a sign of a mentally strong person. Just because some dude named James called me a bitch on Facebook 2 years ago does not mean I'm still mad at James. And, I deal with a mentally strong crowd over here. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Now I've always said this. I rather have 10 common sense people watching me instead of 100 stupid motherfuckers. I don't know. Maybe if 100 stupid motherfuckers was giving money, I mean, yeah, I'll be all over that shit. Just hey, but you know what I'm saying. Y'all know where I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at. That's just a statement that encourages people to. It just encourages people to just do make a little bit more common sense decision making, and just saying that you're an okay person and it's okay to reward you verbally for using common sense. Everything doesn't have to be reduced to an insult. Unless it's funny. Then it's called roasting. A lot of y'all don't know how to roast. Y'all use basic attacks. You gay. You broke. You dusty. Those are the three basic things I hear when people call themselves roasting. You gay, you broke, you dusty. When there's so much more to be said. I like depending on the moment, I might say something that is off-putting, but it's so dry. It's just it like my kind of insult is you have to think about it, and then once you catch on, it makes you even madder that you didn't catch on in the beginning, and that right there is so funny. So if like when insults are funny, like I said, it's called roasting. And a lot of y'all really don't know how to roast. I'm not a great roaster or anything. It's like it depends on the kind of mood I'm in. And those moments come very rare. Cause I'm not about all the roasting or whatever. A lot of y'all just don't know how to do it. I mean, when it's a black man, you go to insulting his manhood. I mean, and that's easy. That's easy, not easy to do. Like, oh man, it's easy to insult a man, black man, man. No, I ain't saying it like that. I'm saying that it's just such a common, basic go-to. I mean, like what if you call a dude gay or whatever as an insult, which the alphabet community for some reason does not look at it that way. They look at everything else that way. But what if dude had a head shaped like a football? What if he had little sausage fingers? Like he was a 6 foot guy, but he had the fingers of a little person. You could work with that. You could work with that. You could go beyond basic. I don't like the little, I don't like the little, oh, you gay. Or you broke. It's so common. Just try to be a little comical with it. Like do a true roast. Like if the guy had a unibrow, like man, look at that mustache across your forehead. It's so many things that you could say. I'm not saying don't say you gay, you dusty, you broke, because that seemed to work with basic minds. Yeah, just saying. Just saying. I mean, like shit. You call anybody any amount of those things. Shut up, old sissy ass. Old broke ass. Yeah, you put ass at the end of anything. You know, they either put ass or ass nigga at the end of everything. Old tired ass nigga. Dust ass nigga. Talking about President Obama. President Obama ass nigga. Shoot. Hey, but you know, a lot of those ass nigga insults, like, those are better than a lot of the stuff that a lot of people say. Oh, he's so mean. Oh, she's so savage. She was talking about those boots that man weared. Those boots look like they belong to a girl. Yeah, I'm about tired of talking about this. So, if anyone wants to hit the link and come up to the platform, like I said, the link is in the description. Hopefully it is. And I ain't even monetized this mug. But let's be honest. This is a little tidbit. Basic revenue monetization on streams such as these. Um, you know that they're only gonna make you like a few cents. Now, if you had like 5 6,000 videos up, you know, then that little revenue is gonna count for something. But you know, gotta monetize this stuff. Every little bit counts. Every little bit counts. Yeah. Yeah, so tonight is called The Art of the Insult. And you know, and how much I wish that, you know, a lot of people would just try to be a little more comical with it instead of like, let me just put it to you like this. We take ourselves a little bit too seriously these days. You gotta laugh at yourself a little bit. Gotta laugh at yourself a little bit. You know, I don't mind getting roasted if it's funny. I'll say that. Oh yeah. All right. Anthony Droso, he said he'd rather not say. Yeah, yeah, that's all good, man. I'm sure that's the reference to the question is what's the worst time you've been insulted? Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream right now. Just let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Is you I'm just gonna go ahead and shut it down at this point. Everything. Thanks for watching. Most of all, thanks for listening to what I had to say for these few minutes. And just remember, at the end of the day, don't take anyone's shit, but at the same time, it may not be that serious. Let's stick to our more common sense selves, and as always, I will come to you at another time. So long live the habitual line steppers, and Kev we trust. Goodbye for now.